Okay, here I am leaving the hotel with a full charge. It was actually 99%, 297 miles. I want to go 184 miles to, it is a EVgo charger in Temple, Georgia. Shows I'll arrive with 5%. There are plenty of bailout options along the way. Matter of fact, there's a V3 in Douglasville, Georgia. But we're going to see if we can get there. As I get closer, as long as I have enough range, I'll plug in that V3 in Douglasville so it preconditions the battery, and then I'm going to go to EVgo and test out their charger at the Pilot Flying J. So we'll see how it works out, and let's see what happens. At this point, I'm going to take off. I am going to add a stop. Add stop. I'm going to the Residence Inn in Shreveport. It's on Traffic Street. I'm adding that. We're going to add that as a stop. Then we're going to edit the trip. And we're going to reverse. Done. And now it's wanting me to stop at the, looks like it's wanting me to stop at the supercharger in Douglasville after I go to Temple, Georgia. That'll correct itself. I'm going to let that alone. See what happens, and let's go ahead and get on the road, and I'll update you here shortly. I've reset the trip meter to Shreveport, so off we go. Okay, I just got out here on the interstate. It's 53 degrees out. It's 10:17 a.m. Device detected in hand, so it's going to make me control the steering wheel because it sees that I'm using my phone, which is great. Super great safety features. Tesla, I appreciate it. I do have FSD running, which is why it warned me. Still shows I'm going to make it with 5%. I'm going to ride along and see what happens. I've driven 7 miles, 343 watt-hours per mile. If that consumption stays, yeah, I'm not going to make it. So I'll stop at that supercharger before, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to ride along and play it out here for a while, and I will update you here shortly. Okay, so here's the good news. We are showing 17% remaining on the battery on arrival now. I've kept the speeds only a couple of miles an hour over the speed limit, or right around the speed limit since I've started out. 40 miles, 39 minutes, so running, right at that. And it's gained a lot of battery percentage. Just now I bumped the speed up a little bit. I'm just riding with traffic. And yeah, it shows I'll get there at 12:55 with 16%. And we'll see what happens. Now, obviously, then I'm going to remove the supercharger after that. And so I'm going to, as of right now, I'm headed to the EVgo station at the Pilot Flying J. So I like those. They've got good amenities. Usually they have canopies. I've not charged at this one. I don't recall charging there, and I want to check it out. In the meantime, I'm driving through Georgia and headed into the Atlanta metro area. So I'll be going around Atlanta or through Atlanta, depending on if it takes me around 285 or straight across 20. Right now, traffic's showing I can just shoot straight across 20. And we'll kind of see what happens. I'm going to judge how far I'm going to go today. Am I going to go all the way to Shreveport, which would mean a total of a 750-mile day, leaving at around 10 a.m.? But it's all straight across Interstate 20. Or do I stop a few hours prior to Shreveport? This first charging stop and the traffic around Atlanta will help me make the decision, because this is going into a holiday week, and I could get held up quite a bit in traffic. So as of right now, it's been very smooth, very uneventful. There you go. Device detected in hand. Great job, Tesla. I mean, just impressive software, impressive vehicle. I love the full self-driving. Much more relaxing drive today. Yesterday I drove manually a lot, and frankly, even after 6 to 7 hours of driving yesterday, I'm so much more relaxed today I can't even begin to describe, versus yesterday how wore out I was manually driving. I know many may say that's not a big deal. It really you almost feel fresh and refreshed when you get out of the car after using FSD. It's so nice, especially on the highway. Absolutely love it. And basic autopilot is amazing on the highway too. So Teslas are just in a class of their own, in my opinion, with the ADAS system. So 310 watt hours per mile so far, not too bad. Holding right now at 16%, and we'll kind of see what happens. And all I'm going to do essentially to make it to this charging stop is I'm going to adjust my speed accordingly. Usually I start out slower speeds, build up my buffer, and then I can ride along at highway speeds as needed, and then back off if I need again to gain range. Speed is really your controlling factor of your consumption. So been a good trip so far. Beautiful day. Really enjoying this drive. So thank you, Tesla, and I hope everybody's having a good day as well. Here is a quick trip update. 107 miles into the trip, an hour and 32 minutes, 328 watt hours per mile, and it shows I'm going to arrive with 10%. That's been fluctuating, but only 79 miles out. I'm feeling a lot of wind pushing against the front of the car, so I think that's killing some of my consumption. Also, killing efficiency, but also the highway speeds are too. But all in all, doing great so far. Headed to the Pilot Flying J in Temple, Georgia, and so far it hasn't done any preconditioning. It does know that it wants to go back to Douglasville after, so I'm going to kind of see what happens. If I get past Douglasville and it's still not preconditioning, I may punch that in as a stop to at least get 10 or so minutes of preconditioning before. And let's see, it's 20 minutes between the two. That would at least give me 20 minutes of preconditioning on the way to the EVgo charger. So I don't want to do that yet. I don't want to burn up a bunch of additional battery preconditioning, but it's been a smooth trip, and still enjoying the drive. Very much the same the whole way through, but now I'm only 36 miles from the center of Atlanta, and traffic is starting to pick up, and we're certainly going to see some buildings and businesses and things pop up along with houses here in the very near future. I will keep you updated here as I drive. Okay, so I did make a change. I was going to get there with more than 10%, around 11%. I went ahead and as I'm passing through Atlanta, I plugged in and told it to stop at the Douglasville supercharger. Now, I'm not going to stop there, but what it's doing is it's preconditioning the battery for fast charging. It won't precondition on the way to an EVgo charger or any charger that doesn't appear in the navigation. It doesn't know to precondition. Now, there's some tricks. You can get certain apps or certain aftermarket buttons for the car that will allow you to set up manual preconditioning. But at the end of the day, usually you can just trick it by picking a nearby supercharger. So I'm tricking it to do that. Then I'm going to go to the Pilot Flying J. I believe it's Pilot Flying J. It's an EVgo charger that's in Temple, Georgia. And it's about 20 minutes past this, or roughly 20 miles past this charger. So I'm going to let it keep preconditioning. And when I get right by the exit, I'm going to remove this stop and let it continue on to my original navigation point. So just a little pro tip for people that want to use other chargers, other DC fast chargers other than Tesla, and you want to get your maximum charging speed. This will help. So now, if it stops preconditioning before I get to this exit, I'll just remove it then, and then the battery will stay pretty warm en route. It's 52 degrees out, a little chilly. I just didn't want to have a super slow charging session at the EVgo charger, so might as well let the battery get warmed up, trick the car a little bit. Now, some cars have a manual preconditioning option, like my Cadillac Lyriq, some don't. Frankly, I wish they all had that. It could be hidden in advanced options, hidden somewhere in a menu, but people that really know EVs and have been driving them for years know what it means, and I would just prefer that rather than trying to trick the navigation. But either way, that's what I do here in the Tesla, and also in the Rivian. I do it the same way, and that kind of tricks it to heat the battery up. Usually after the first charging stop, they stay pretty warm throughout the trips, unless you're in really, really cold climate or really hot where it needs to cool the battery down. The preconditioning isn't as critical after that first charge. As long as you're charging every 1 to 2 hours after that, it keeps the battery pretty warm. So anyway, hope that helps. Just a little information. And as I go through Atlanta here, I am looking forward to this stop. It's been 152 miles already, 2 hours and 12 minutes, 327 watt hours per mile. So again, not great efficiency again today. Cold weather certainly has something to do with it, but also the traveling speeds and the wind. Wind plays a pretty big factor in efficiency in an EV. So, all right, I will be back shortly. Okay, here I am at the EV Go chargers at the Pilot Flying J. I'm getting plugged in right now, and let's see how this works. Got my CCS adapter here. I'm gonna lay the phone down for a second. Okay, and there we go. I just plugged in. It says payment has been authorized. I have Auto Charge Plus set up. These are there are two 350 kilowatt DC fast chargers. They're split 175 a piece. And the contactors are clicking, and we should get charging here in just a second. Matching voltage. Shows I'm at a 9% state of charge, and now I'm up already to 170 kilowatts. So great job, EVgo, GM Energy, and Tesla. Up to 174. Let's take a look in the car. 176 kilowatts, 178 kilowatts. This will not get up to 250 kilowatts just because of the amperage ratings and whatever. But usually they level out around 190 kilowatts. They hold that pretty steady. I'm going to go ahead and let it charge. We're getting energy, and I will figure out the next charger after that. I will be back with you here shortly. So here I'm at the Pilot Flying J. One of the reasons I like these is you've got washer, you've got usually napkins, trash cans, all kinds of amenities. 2 restaurants here, plus the Pilot Flying J. Plenty of food options right off the interstate. This is what these are designed for. So I love that they put these Delta cabinets in. They put the 2 EVgo 350 kilowatt simultaneous 175. There's the Model Y. We've got another car plugged in charging. I want to show how poor the Tesla charging curve is, you know. So these folks are driving a Kia. They plugged in at a higher state of charge than me. They're at 70% and they're still pulling 132 kilowatts. And I am at 60% pulling 85. So much slower charging curve, but all in all, good, and right off the interstate. So that's why I kind of chose this one. Hope this helps, but Tesla really needs to get the charging curve up. By the way, it did get up to 199 kilowatts just before 30%. So it did charge right around 200 kilowatts on this charger, which I was happy with. I'm going to charge just a little more and headed to the supercharger here next in Bessemer, Alabama. So it's about 124 miles away. I just want to put a good buffer in the pack. Starting out here around 70%. My general rule of thumb is take your battery percentage times 2, and that's how many miles you can get even in pretty much the worst conditions. So I could go easily 122 miles right now. It's 124. I could leave now and be fine. It's still pulling 83 kilowatts. I'm going to charge to roughly 70%. That way I got a decent buffer. Then I'm going to take off. And this charger here in Bessemer is a 12 stall 250 kilowatt. I think it may be at a Buc-ee's if I remember. And then after that, let's take a look at the overall trip plan. We're going to Meridian after that, and then Vicksburg. So just a couple stops, about 20 minutes a stop. Should hit Shreveport around 10:30. That's kind of what I'm thinking my plan is. I'm going to confirm that and see if I can get to Bessemer by 3. If I make it to Bessemer, around 3 p.m., I feel like I'll be on track. With the time change, I'll hit Shreveport at 9:30, which will be totally fine. And yeah, I'm going to continue the trip. Let's take a look at energy consumption. I should have clicked it before the last drive, but you can see projected range 148 miles on 309 average watt hours per mile. So this is helpful using the energy gauge. But as far as the last leg, giving you a recap, 187 miles, 325 watt hours per mile. Not the best efficiency in the world. But we did travel for 2 hours and 42 minutes. We used 61 kilowatt hours of energy, and overall lifetime on the car now, 39,086 miles. I will be getting rid of this Model Y after this trip, and be picking up a Cybertruck in the next 30 days. In the meantime, I'll use the Lyric and the Rivian. I'm going to take the Cybertruck. I'm going to take delivery after the first of the year to ensure I get a 2025 model year. That's just helpful for resale value, having a newer model year. Anyway, I'll keep an eye on this for a few minutes, and I'll get on the road and update you here shortly. Okay, I ended up charging to 72%. I actually had grabbed some food and, sorry, 1 second. Let me go ahead and get around this car. Anyway, I charged to 72%, which was giving me estimated 20% buffer. That's been bouncing around. As you see right now, it's showing 19%. It's projecting based off the speed I'm running currently. So as I pass that car, it changed the estimate. Now, as I slow back down to, highway speeds, it will adjust accordingly. So it's been as high as 23%, as low as 19%. It's dynamically adjusting. I'm running at 321 watt hours per mile, riding across Interstate 20. You'll see here it wants me to jump off on a bypass around Montgomery, Tuscaloosa, and I'll have to look at that. But I'm 95 miles from the charger, an hour and 21 minutes. Should hit there around 3 p.m. in Bessemer, which should be just fine. And yeah, it's been a smooth drive. It is cold. It's 52 degrees, which is really cold for this part of the country. At 1:38 p.m., I'm not in Central Time yet, but I will be crossing into Central Time here very soon. And it's been a pretty smooth trip so far. I do think I'm probably going to go all the way to Shreveport today, 750 plus miles. But I'm 217 miles into it already, so, and I'm pretty fresh. I had some calls and work this morning and did not get on the road until about 10:15. So looks like I may be driving to about 10:15 tonight, probably about 12 hours on the road today. But let's see how it goes. We'll make that decision when we get to the next charger, and I will keep you updated. Okay, so here is a trip update. I am 87 miles into the current drive. The car just updated the destination and said it wants me to go all the way to Cottondale, Alabama, where I'll arrive with 5%, which I'm actually okay with because I'll get better charging quicker and I'll get further along. So that's the plan for right now. I'm going to ride along and see how it does. I have 33% left on the battery. I'm going 66 miles. That old math of times 2, 33 times 2, 66 miles. Should be right on the money, even with a little bit of buffer. It's been a smooth, uneventful drive. It's 56 degrees out. Been a beautiful day. You'll see my total drive so far today, 275 miles on the way to Shreveport, 321 watt hours per mile. I am planning to go all the way to Shreveport. I'm actually going to stay in Bossier City, and excuse me, that will be the plan. The resort casino I'm staying at has Tesla destination chargers in the garage. It's the Horseshoe Casino in Bossier City. And then I'll be staying next door to that in a different day as well. But that's the plan for right now. So I'm going to just dial back on the speed a little bit. We're running into the Birmingham traffic. I'm going to turn FSD back on. I had shut it off a little bit earlier just to do a little bit of manual driving. I'm going to flip that back on by pushing down on this stalk. Here we go. The car's driving now. And I'm going to relax and watch this. Obviously, there's plenty of bailout options. The car kind of knows what it's doing, and it's saying, hey, let's go all the way here and push it to a 4% arrival. So let's see what happens, and you'll know here very quickly whether I'm making it all the way there. I'm going to stop at that original supercharger that we had talked about earlier. So more information to follow. Okay, so here's another trip update. We're making great progress. Riding along here on the way to the supercharger in Cottondale, Alabama. It is 1:35 p.m., 56 degrees, and 5% state of charge estimated remaining. We'll get there in about 45 minutes. Driven 103 miles on this leg, and if you do the math, that'll be 155 miles with 70% in the battery, arriving with 5% left. So, you know, these cars are really about 200-mile cars at real highway speeds. Not a lot more, and usually I'm 2.5 or so hours between stops. I looked, my average stop time on the last trip I did from Roanoke, Virginia to Augusta, I had a 9-minute stop, I had an 11-minute stop, and I had a 13-minute stop. So an average of 11 minutes a stop. Today, obviously, I stopped longer at that first charger. That was that EV Go charger. And, yeah, so it really just depends. But it's telling me it only wants me to stop for 15 minutes in Cottondale, Alabama. So, I mean, that's a quick charge. And then now it's reduced. If you take a look, my time to destination now is 9:23 p.m. Now, keep in mind, it was predicting midnight, and it was on Eastern time, which would be 11 p.m. I have gained on this now an hour and a half so far of just normal driving, and I'm optimizing and picking the chargers generally. But it picked this one in Cottondale, and I like the choice. I mean, that's a 15-minute charge, arriving with 6% predicted now. Great job, Tesla. Really enjoying the road trip. It's, again, a beautiful day. 56 degrees out. We'll just kind of see how the rest of the trip goes. Let's hope for uneventful and smooth. And we just get to this charger here in the next 45 minutes, and I'll take another bio break, charge quickly, and get on to the next one, which will then be Meridian, Mississippi, hopefully. So I'll check that charger from the next one and see if that makes the most sense. I don't typically like to sit at a charger for 20 or 25 minutes, so we'll see. But this thing's going super quick so far today. We're already almost 300 miles into the trip. You'll see 293 miles on the way to Shreveport. So I'm pretty happy about that. Okay, I will update you here again shortly. Okay, so I pulled in with 4%. Sorry I didn't get a chance to show you pulling in and plugging in, but I'll show you the charger here in a second. And it immediately said I needed to be here for 14 minutes. The charging speed's kind of bouncing around a little bit. I'm not sure why. We're at 9%, pulling 164 kilowatts. It was starting to ramp up over 200 kilowatts, and then it just dropped back down. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to run in and use the facilities, and if I have to move charging stalls, I will. I pulled down here to get on a different power distribution cabinet than the other Tesla that's here, but maybe there's an issue with this charger. So, matter of fact, at 11%, I should be pulling a higher state of charge. So let's go ahead and unplug real quickly. It'll only take me a minute to do this or less. We're going to unplug. We're going to move the car. And we're going to go plug in right next to it. And let's see what kind of charging speeds we can get. We'll just plug into this one, which is charger 2B. 2B or not 2B. There you go. Plugging in. Should start charging pretty instantly. And there you go. And now let's see what kind of speeds we get. It was worth it. Look what's happening. So I could have sat over there pulling 160 some kilowatts. I moved to chargers with the number 2, which would be on a different power distribution cabinet, and I'm getting 249 kilowatts. So well worth the move. It dropped my charging time by 30% down to 10 minutes. I'm going to run in, use the facilities, and I'll be back with you in a minute. But let me show you this stop. Let me gather my stuff that I'm throwing away. Bear with me 1 second. Getting organized here. All right. Got all my trash gathered up. Okay. we're good to go. So you got one pull install over there. Total 8 superchargers, 250 kilowatts. Another pull install there. Those are typically for trailers, but you know, there's not a lot of traffic, and most people just like the pull-ins. And it's at a Holiday Inn Express. There's a Hampton Inn right there. A couple of restaurants within walking distance. This is the Cottonwood, Alabama. And overall, it's a great charger. So I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, I just got back to the car. It's now 2:32 p.m. It's telling me I've got 2 minutes left. I still have to make a phone call and take care of some email. So I will probably be here longer than the car wants me to be. I'm already going to arrive to Meridian with 6%. I can easily make it at 48% times 2 is 96 miles. I've got it. I could take off. I'm going to go ahead and let it charge while I take care of the things I need to take care of, and then I will take off. But once again, the car is basically ready before I am. It wants me to go to the supercharger in Meridian. Let's take a look. That's basically the next one en route. It's an 8-stall 150. If I stretch it to Pearl, it's another 8-stall 150. And then Vicksburg is a 12-stall 250. So the risk is, you know, I can get to this next one and I might only get 75 kilowatts. So because it's only a V2, and if there's 4 other cars that are charging, it splits charge between 2 cars beside each other or on the same charger, A and B. So I'm going to go ahead and let this thing charge a little deeper because I'm not going to get the advantage of a V3. So I'm going to let it fill up and probably unplug when I get around 70 kilowatts, probably around 70%. There's no sense in rushing out of here in the next minute. I'll let it charge a little deeper. No sense in arriving there super low state of charge. It's not going to help. So I will keep you updated. Okay, I just finished doing what I need to do. We're going to go ahead and get unplugged and take off. We're at 60%, shows arriving with 18% left on the battery. 96 miles to go. I got plenty of juice. I need to get going and head that way. I've got a lot of driving left to do. We are at 86 kilowatts and 343 miles so far on this drive. 107 kilowatt hours of energy use, 313 watt hours per mile. You can see the lifetime on the car pushing 40,000 miles. I'll try to do a 40,000 mile review on the car here very soon. But at this point, 19% remaining upon arrival to my next supercharger in Meridian, Mississippi, and 61% in the battery. Let's get going. And it's just as quick as this. It'll email me a receipt. Actually, it just charges a credit card and puts the receipt in the Tesla account. Easy as it goes. I'm still on free supercharging. So this last stop, if I click the battery button, cost me 0. And there's the kilowatt hour usage. So it took in 38 kilowatt hours of energy at this last charging stop. So great job, Tesla. Let's get on the road. So we're on the road. We only have 87 miles to go, an hour and 15 minutes. Not a big deal. Riding along here with traffic, using full self-driving, and 323 watt hours per mile for the last 9 miles. 313 watt hours per mile overall. So I have not been terribly fuel efficient on this trip, or energy efficient, I should say. It's been a beautiful day. Weather's been cold, 59 degrees, lots of wind, and frankly, pretty high highway speed. So that'll do it. I mean, it's just speed kills efficiency. But I'm fine with that. These are just quick pops every hour and a half or so now until I get to my final destination. So as of right now, let's take a look. We're showing stopping in Meridian, Mississippi. Arriving there around 4 p.m. Should be there, it says, for 25 minutes. And then about another, let's see, that'd be from 4:30, about another 2 hours to Vicksburg, Mississippi. Be there for 25 minutes, and then into the Horseshoe in Bossier City, Louisiana, around 9:25 p.m. So we'll see how it all plays out. I'm going to just keep riding on, and fingers crossed for a continued uneventful trip. So far, it's been fairly smooth. That truck just went off the side of the road, but he's back on the road, so that's good. But it's been a good trip, y'all. Love driving the Tesla and love the supercharging network. Now, you'll notice that last charger, there was a problem. But if I had stayed plugged in, okay, it would have taken 3 minutes longer. most people wouldn't notice. And when I came out and got in the car, there was another car plugged into the same charger. So that charger was obviously not getting full power for some reason. My guess is it might have been the power distribution cabinet, something with the grid. It might have been something with that charging post. Tesla monitors that and will know that that's a problem. With the new latest Tesla app update, you can report supercharger problems. I'm not going to report that one. That was a minor power issue. But if one's out of service and not listed, or a handle's broken or something, I'll report those types of things. So at the end of the day, though, I moved to a different stall. It bumped right up to 250 kilowatts and almost filled the car fully up by the time I went in and used the facilities and came back out. The car was 2 minutes from ready to go, and I could have taken off right then. I did charge up a little extra. Shows I'm going to arrive there to Meridian with 22% on the battery. That's been fluctuating a little bit, but probably about right. And yeah, we'll see what happens. That's a 8-stall charger. We'll see what it looks like as I get closer. There aren't really many options here across 20. This is what you call the CCS charging desert. So, you know, I looked for CCS options. There really aren't any. So I'm going to rely on the supercharger. But either way, it'll be fine. I'm just hoping there's not, 4+ cars there. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to hit there around 4 p.m. and we will go from there. I'll be back with you here shortly. Okay, so here is a trip update. I am only 11 minutes out, 10 miles. Should arrive with around 21%. It's 60 degrees out. It's gotten really nice. Headed into Meridian, Mississippi to the supercharger. And it's not done any preconditioning, so that's interesting. But you'll see pretty good consumption here. 295 watt hours per mile for the last 89 miles. Been a quick jaunt across here. You'll see it hasn't taken that long at all. 86 miles. I'm sorry if I've misread any of those numbers. The sun's actually right in my eyes, so I'll let you take a look and see where I'm at. But sitting at 25% on the battery currently, and just getting ready to roll into Meridian. So looking forward to getting to that charger. Let's check and see how many stalls are available. And you can see there on the screen how many are available. So hopefully I get there and can get plugged in and don't have to share power, and can get a quick charge. So more info to follow here as I get to Meridian. Been a beautiful driving day, good bit of traffic and some issues, but all in all, fairly uneventful. So I'm pleased with that. Looking forward to getting this next charge and popping on beyond that and just keep moving. So just got to get there. Should hit this charger about 4 p.m. Central Time. So that's 5 p.m. Eastern, and I left, as you saw, at 10:15. So been driving, 7 hours and 15 minutes upon this arrival. So no big deal. Got plenty more in me. Full self-driving's been running most of the way, and that's made the trip much, much easier. So yeah, love driving a Tesla and just enjoying this trip. I'll be back with you here shortly with another update. So it just popped up and started preconditioning as I got off the exit here. This supercharger is a little bit off the exit, but there's a lot of traffic at this time of day, right before a holiday week. 98 miles, 290 watt hours per mile, 308 watt hours per mile overall on the way to Shreveport. 439 miles so far today. 3:57 p.m. I'll be there, and it shows 3 minutes and 0.9 of a mile. So should be interesting. This is I just simply don't remember this charger. I feel like I've been to this one, but I think it's taking me in a different way due to traffic. I tried to look on navigation, and it was suggesting about 3 different routes. I took the one that I thought made the most sense, but either way, we are about to get there. And I can't remember, is this one at a Buc-ee's? We'll see. And if it's at a Buc-ee's, it makes sense it brought me in the back way. Oh no, I think this one's at a shopping mall. I think I do remember this one. Man, and I'm struggling to see with the sun right in my eyes. It's bright. You can definitely tell I'm back in the south. Yeah, I think this one's back behind the mall. All the way on the back side of the mall. And I wish this light would change. Here we go. There's a nice new Kia in front of me. struggling to see with that bright sun. And I remember why this one takes so long to get to, because all the way around the backside of a mall that's like semi-decommissioned and half out of service. It's interesting. So here we are rolling in. Up there's a Tesla Cybertruck coming at me all the way out here in Cottonwood, Alabama. That's interesting. Let's see, the charger is this way. I do remember it. And it might just be easier to cut across in front of Belk in some of these stores and just get right over here to this charger. Right over here are the superchargers. You can see them right there. And the easiest way to get to them is this way. This is one of these strange setups. It's a pull-in. But here's the good news, though. There aren't hardly any Teslas here, so I should be able to get full power. I'm gonna pull in right here on the end. Okay, let me get plugged in and see if this one will ramp up. Sentry mode unavailable because I'm all the way down at 20%. It's funny, I'm at 21%. It's supposed to work, but when I get plugged in, it'll kick on. The one negative with this stop is the restrooms are, it's like a half a mile walk to get to a restroom, and they're not available after hours. But we are flashing blue. Version 2s take a lot longer to connect. More like, 9 or 10 seconds instead of just 5 seconds or whatever. But let's take a look. We should ramp up and get about 145 kilowatts. There we go. We are charging. So let me go ahead and take care of the stuff I need to take care of, and I will be back with you here shortly. It shows I need to be here about 25 minutes. I think I'm in a charging desert. Yep, there is one charger in between. In Jackson, Pearl. And then we also have Vicksburg. Vicksburg's a 250, so we're definitely better off to go there. So it may take me that long to walk into the restroom. So let's see, if I hit continue trip, how far do we have to go? And let it calculate. So 138 miles, that's easily doable. 2 hours into Vicksburg. That is at the Ameristar. It's a parking lot at a casino, and it's a new version 3 supercharger. It's pretty nice, so I think I'll probably do that one. They might have put some V4 stalls in there too. I can't remember. So anyway, I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, we're still charging in Cottonwood, Alabama. No cars have pulled in beside me and cut power. There are 4 cars here charging now. Cars have come in and moved in and moved out. When I went inside, I think there were like 2 other cars. One was leaving, and when I came out, another car was leaving and another car pulled in. So cars have been cycling in and out. This area could definitely use a V3 or a V4. I mean, there needs to be more charging along this corridor. I just came out the vehicle just a few minutes ago. It's down to 80 kilowatts, but here's the thing. I'm better off to stay here charging, because if I was to skip a charger, and let's take a look. If I was to skip a charger and go ahead, not skip, but, stop sooner in Jackson, Mississippi, the Pearl supercharger, which I've been to before, it's not a bad location. Here's the problem. I do that, I could get there and plug in with another vehicle at 72 kilowatts. So I'm still pulling over that speed because that one's a V2. It's a 150 kilowatt charger. It'll split at 72. I'm still pulling above that. Nobody's plugged in beside me. And if I just continue on, I can get to Vicksburg, which is a V3 supercharger, no shared power. And, I'll get maximum charging speed there. right now I could take off and arrive with 6%. I am going to add a little more buffer. Remember my general rule of thumb, if I take this times 2, you know, that will get me my distance. So I probably want to get to maybe a little over 70%. I'm going to get to where I have a roughly 15% buffer so I can run full highway speeds, and I'll easily get there with 138 miles to go. So at 75%, that's roughly 150 miles, no problem at about any speed and nearly any weather condition. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Just sit here a few more minutes and then get out of here. As of right now, I'm estimated to arrive at the Horseshoe in Bossier City at 9:24 p.m. Still on track. It's going to want me to charge for a long time. And if I recall, there are a couple V3s along that route. I remember Ruston, that's a V3. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to sit 30 minutes. I'm going to add this charger to my route. And so now what happens, this kind of changes it around. So take a look. And if I recall, Ruston's right off the interstate as well. So I'll pop into Vicksburg for a quick 15-minute charge. 5 minutes in Ruston. Now, granted, it takes time to plug in those chargers, but I don't want to sit for 30 or so minutes in Vicksburg. If I'm there longer and I skip the charger, that's great. That will also allow me to charge a little longer in Ruston and arrive to the hotel with a higher state of charge. So let's see. I don't think there's any other ones in between. Of course, I've charged in Monroe. That's a V2. Shreveport here just disappeared. Notice that? There we go. They have a newer V3 up here, and then there's one that's closer. Here it is. And this one is a V2. And if I recall, that one's at a mall. Yeah, that's the one at the mall. This other one up there, up above, I don't think I've been to that one. No, I have. That's a V3 at a Target. Okay. So, anyhow, yeah, I think that's my plan for right now. What we're going to do now is focus on getting to Vicksburg. We're already up to 70%, showing 5 more minutes, and then ready to go. You can see I'd arrive with 10% right now. I'm good to take off. I just want to build a little bit more buffer in case I run into any conditions while I'm on the road, and then we'll roll on. So just another few minutes, and I will be back on the road. So this is by far my longest charging stop over the last 2 days, and really it's longer because it's a V2, and there's just not a lot of good charging options down through I-20. Or I would just keep skipping on to V3 chargers like I've done before and like you've seen me do before. Here's a recap on the last leg. 97 miles, 291 watt hours per mile. Overall, 308 watt hours per mile, 440 miles into the day. 39,339 miles on this 2023 Tesla Model Y long range. So, been a great car. Looks like I'll be handing it over to my daughter on Monday. She's going to basically trade me her Model Y, which I'm going to end up trading in the Cybertruck, and she's going to take over this, or her Model 3, and she's going to take over this Model Y, and we'll work that out. So I will be I'll have her Model 3 as a spare vehicle, and I'll just use the Cadillac Lyriq and the Rivian in the meantime. So this has been a great car. I've really enjoyed it. You'll see I'm down to 67 kilowatts, so I really don't want to sit here much longer. I just wish Tesla held a better charge deeper into the pack. The Lyriq, when it charges well, is charging well over 100 kilowatts at 70%. And you've seen that. I've shown videos where I've sat beside a Tesla at a EVgo, and it's just way outperformed it. But I've had a bunch of charging problems with the Lyriq and had to have the dealer do a software update to the battery management system, and now it's actually performing better. So we'll see if that continues, but almost ready to go here. Just maybe 2% more, and I'm going to take off. I'll be back with you shortly. Okay, so here I am, 18 miles into this leg, 314 watt hours per mile. Of course, we're riding at highway speeds, and you can see even then we've got cars passing us consistently. You'll see on the screen, looks like a Toyota Highlander hybrid right beside me. But yeah, it's been a smooth trip so far. We are 458 miles into this Shreveport trip, 308 watt-hours per mile, and you'll see the cars get beside me and then slow down. So wonderful, because we're going uphill in their gas cars. But no big deal. The Tesla will automatically change lanes into the faster lane and get right behind the Highlander. So either way, I've got 119 miles left. It shows I'll arrive with 13%, which is fine. I'll keep an eye on it. If I need to dial the speed back some, I will. But we're going to continue to ride along, and should be there to the supercharger in Vicksburg, Mississippi. It's at the Ameristar Casino at around 6:30. I may just charge there fully because I've got to use the restroom. And I may just walk around, maybe grab a little bite of something. I basically just had a quick lunch on the road, so I don't know. We'll see. Either that or I'll stop in Ruston, Louisiana, which is a supercharger that's at a Walmart. It's across from Walmart, a little plaza. The problem is that Walmart can get very busy, and not necessarily the charger, but just getting in and out of it sometimes can be challenging. So I'm not sure. And there's not really good, easy to use restroom facilities unless you walk over to the Walmart, which is quite a walk. So I'm going to judge it once I get to Vicksburg. We'll see how well the charging goes. May just leave and charge there for 25 or so minutes, and then that'll be my last stop. So let's see how it goes, and I'll keep you updated. Okay, here's another update. I am riding along, 5:04 p.m. It's already starting to get dark out, and you can see the screen has switched to night mode. 93 miles. I'm showing arrival at 11%. Now remember, I buffered it up to about 16 to 17%. There's a reason I did that. When you're running at these highway speeds, the car's assuming you're running within, say, 5 miles an hour of the speed limit, and so if you run a little over that when you're riding with traffic, it'll consume more energy. So you can see down below 320 watt-hours per mile in this stretch. Good bit of wind, headwind, not tailwind, so it's causing some efficiency issues. But overall, doing just fine. 46 miles into the trip, 38 minutes, and showing arriving to the supercharger in Vicksburg at 6:25 p.m. And yeah, just riding along through the woods of Mississippi on Interstate 20. It's actually a nice drive. I've done this drive many, many times over the years. And you can see the ambient light strip from Abstract Ocean is lit up. A lot of the accessory providers, if you use the code BYTESLA, BYTESLA, it'll give you a discount. Quite a few of the providers. And also, if you're going to buy a Tesla, you can use my link for that as well. Right now, Tesla's running a promotion, $1,000 off using my referral code, and then they give me a credit as well, and I believe it's a $500 credit. So feel free to use that if that helps you. But anyhow, love this Model Y. Frankly, I'm going to miss it. One of the best cars I've probably ever owned. Looking forward to the Cybertruck. We'll see how it does, and I more than likely will get a refreshed Model Y within the next 2 years as well, and maybe replace something else or add it to my fleet of vehicles. So notice while we're talking, the car switched lanes. Now, it won't switch back often unless a car comes up behind me, and then it'll automatically switch out of the passing lane. But you can tap the turn signal stalk, cars moving lanes. So I do that pretty often. People always comment that I sit in the left lane too much. The car will move me back in the right lane as soon as the car comes up behind. So sometimes you just forget about it when you're doing multi-thousand-mile road trips all the time. That'll happen. So, but certainly cars coming up behind me, I don't block them. I get over and let cars pass that are moving more quickly than I am. But generally, we're just riding along at highway speeds. I've had a lot of cars passing me. Looking forward to getting to the Ameristar in an hour and 18 minutes. And this may be my last charging stop. We shall see. Okay, here's another trip update. Love the ambient lighting, of course. And I am 120 miles into this leg, 306 watt-hours per mile. Haven't really been paying attention to that. Just been been riding, watching the remaining battery percentage. It's jumped up to 14%. We are preconditioning for fast charging. We are only 17 miles-ish from the exit and 18 miles total from the supercharger at the Ameristar in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Really looking forward to getting there. It's been a long day. You'll see at 6:04 p.m. absolutely nighttime. See the reflection of the ambient lighting on the windshield there. It's actually not in my sight line. I have to kind of lean down to see that. But anyhow, you can adjust the brightness of the lighting. I have it turned all the way up. It's probably a little bit bright at night, but I enjoy it. And it installs in the Model Y and Model 3 right under the lip. There's actually a little ledge that it installs on. It's absolutely perfect. And it just plugs in the glove box where the USB stick plugs in for Sentry mode. There's an adapter, the thing plugs in. I really enjoy it. I paid full price for it, or maybe used somebody else's discount code, but I do highly recommend it. It really is a nice add-on to the Model Y. But anyway, should be there very shortly. I will update you here as I'm getting off the exit. I'm going to get plugged in and run in and use the facilities. I definitely need a bio break. It's been a long travel day. Been going about 8 hours of driving so far today. I've got roughly 3 more once I'm charged. And I'm not sure yet. I may skip that next charger. I may go all the way to Shreveport / Bossier City after this charging session. So we'll just see how it goes. We'll take it step by step and just kind of ride along. But I'm just glad it's been a fairly uneventful trip today. Looks like a Jeep or a Dodge Durango. And you can see traffic's thinned out at least through here. I was in heavy traffic for the longest time, and now I've kind of thinned out, which is great. And just riding along at highway speed. So I do appreciate y'all following along. If you've watched the video this far, shoot me a comment. Let me know what you think. Give me feedback on the Tesla, on the Model Y, on the charging, and just overall, my videos, not much editing. These are just real world road tripping as we go in a Tesla, in a Lyric, in a Rivian, whatever. And that's all I try to do. Nothing fancy, just real world road trips. So, do you like it? Don't you like it? Let me know what you think. And if you like it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and just help support it that way. And I'll keep doing the videos. So I will be updating you again in just another minute. Okay, I thought you might want to follow along as I get off the exit here. I've shut off full self-driving, and so I'm manually driving. And it's just right off the exit. You can see this is a great stop. I really do like this one because you've got all the amenities of a 24-hour casino. It's right off the exit, easy to get to, and it's a great supercharger setup. Sometimes it can take a minute at this light, but one of the better Tesla charging facilities for sure, in my opinion. And the fact that it's, a V3, that it's a fast charger along this charging desert on I-20, that makes it super nice as well. I'm wondering if I'll see some non-Teslas charging here. And so we just go up to this light. And like I said, sometimes you have to wait here for a minute or two. But now we've got a green arrow, so as long as these folks go. And then, so this is a riverboat. So it's a pretty cool facility. Take a look at that. Really, really neat. And I know this one well, been here many, many times. So I'm just going to go left at the bottom of the hill. And the chargers are straight ahead. slow-moving vehicle. And if I recall, unless there's a car coming, I can just cut left here and get into the charger. So here we go. Here they all are in a line. And there are no V4 cabinets. For some reason I was thinking they had put some in, but they have not. So let's get back into this one. Gonna back right up, and let's go ahead and get plugged in. Looks like I'm the only Tesla here. It looks like there's a Nissan parked right beside the charging cabinet, but pretty cool. I don't know that I've ever been here and there's no cars plugged in, so kind of interesting. These are Magic Docks. Let's see if the Magic Dock connector works. Yeah, there it is. So there's the Magic Dock connector. We'll go ahead and get rid of that and just pop the handle in. There we go, we've gone green, and let's check our charging speeds. I'm at 14%. This thing should ramp right up. And there we are already, 225 kilowatts. 237, 241, 243, 246. Are we gonna see 250, 249, 252, 253, 254. And there we go, holding around 250. I'm gonna jump out and I'll be back with you here in a little bit. Okay, I'm back at the car now, and I'm gonna check the charge status. I've been in there, I don't know, 20 or 25 minutes. Just took a little break, stretched my legs, and let's see how we're doing now. So it's showing 4 minutes left to charge. Shows my arrival in 170 miles at 6%. So 170 miles, I really need to be at around 80% to be comfortable. It's only pulling 59 kilowatts. I could take off and go ahead and stop at the charger along the route. Let's see. We've got this one here in Ruston. That's the one I talked about earlier that's at the Walmart. And that one is only 100 miles away. I'm gonna go ahead and just wait the 4 minutes and get a few more percent. And then that way, if I wanna stretch it, I can. If I wanna stop at Ruston, I can. This last leg, 139 miles, 308 watt hours per mile, and an hour and 55 minutes. This is certainly gonna be a longer leg, this next leg. Let's take a look and hit continue trip. Let it calculate. So see down there, it's saying 8%. So I need a little bit more of a buffer to be comfortable. So I hate to charge at this slow of a charging rate. I hate to fill the pack this much, but at this point in the evening, I'm gonna be safe because I'm tired. And if I wanna just head on to the hotel, I can. But more than likely, I'll stop. That'll break this leg up. It's getting late, and you'll see I'm not gonna arrive till 9:20. So I'll probably stop and do a quick 10-minute top off. And that way also I'll arrive to the hotel with some leftover battery for Sentry mode and whatever else. So I'll be back with you here in just a minute. Okay, so here is another trip update. I am 41 miles into this leg, 338 watt hours per mile. Definitely running at highway speeds here. Going to arrive to the supercharger in Ruston with 33%. So I've decided to stop there. I can make it, you know, as you saw earlier, to Shreveport, Bossier City, the Horseshoe, with, you know, 10 or so percent on the battery. But I want to put a little bit of buffer into the battery. So I'm going to stop, 5 to 10 minutes, throw a little bit of juice in, stretch my legs, and then I only have a little bit after that. So once I make that stop, it's roughly an hour, give or take. So this kind of breaks the trip up too. So, you know, I've been driving all day. As you can see, I've driven 621 miles so far in roughly 10 hours. And I need to go ahead and stretch my legs and keep alert. So I'm going to do that. All in all, 310 watt-hours per mile on this total trip today. Not great efficiency, but you've seen we're running at highway speed. So love the lighting. It even reflects off the wood over here, so it looks like there's lighting on both doors. Really nice. Yeah, enjoying the Tesla. I'll be back with you here as we get closer to the charger in about 54 minutes. Okay, here's another quick update. Preconditioning for fast charging. It's been preconditioning for probably an hour, or 45 minutes anyway. I'm only 18 minutes out from the last charging stop of the trip. And hopefully I can get on the chargers at the Horseshoe, but if not, I'll have enough buffer and I'll get plugged in tonight or tomorrow or whatever. Anyway, it's been a good trip so far, pushing 700 miles. You can see down there 664 miles, 313 watt-hours per mile. Yeah, this leg hasn't been great, 345 watt-hours per mile. I've just been riding with traffic and speeds are fluctuating, but I've always found this stretch, for whatever reason, maybe part of the road surface, maybe wind, and also highway speeds, is pretty inefficient. Even in my previous, years ago, gas vehicles or diesel, I wouldn't get great MPG through here. So I know a lot of it has to do with speed, but it's also these rough road surfaces and whatever, maybe elevation changes, etc. But neither here nor there. I will be at the charger here in less than 20 minutes, and looking forward to getting there, getting plugged in, stretching my legs for a bit, and then I will take off and do the final 1 hour leg into the Horseshoe, into Shreveport. So keep watching. I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, so here we go. We are off the exit, headed up here to the supercharger in Ruston, Louisiana. And I've just got to turn right up here at the light, and the charger is then up here on the left. So let's get through this this intersection. Let's see, we got to go right here. And I thought this was one at a Walmart, but maybe I'm thinking of a different charger, but let's see. Oh yeah, the Walmart's right up here on the right, and then the charger's on the left in this little plaza down the hill. Sorry for the beep. I've got Waze running in the background on my phone, so forgot to silence that. I apologize. But right down there to the left are all the Tesla chargers. And there's a Tesla leaving right now from the supercharger. And this is not great. This is not well lit at all. I don't know that I've been to this one at night, but yeah. Should have some lighting here. These have a magic dock, just like the other ones I used and showed the magic dock popping out. Okay, that's about spot on. Let's go ahead and get plugged in. You can see the magic dock holder right there. Let's see how fast. Communicating and charging. And here's the layout of these chargers. Power cabinets are down there. And let's take a look and check our charging speed. We're at 32% state of charge. It's ramping up. We're up to 168 kilowatts, 174, 175, 176. Only need to stop here for 2 minutes. We're up to 181, 182, 183. Let's see, still climbing slightly to 184 kilowatts, and now it's dropping back down. And we got an autopilot warning. So, from not paying attention on that last leg, I'm getting a little weary, and that's my fault, but that's 1 strike out of 5. So I'll be more careful here. And we're at 35%. Let's take a look here at, oops, there we go. So right now, if we leave, we'll arrive with 6%. We've only got 67 miles. So I want to be able to arrive with 30 to 40%. This is a pretty fast leg. So I probably need to get up to maybe 60% or something on the battery. But I don't want to sit here too long. So let me let it charge for a few minutes and I'll figure it out and I'll be back with you. You'll notice we're at 37%. We're at 152 kilowatts. So looks like a new Model Y here pulling in with temp tags. That's great. Another Tesla consumer. So I will be back shortly. Okay, here's a brief update. I am just finishing up charging. I'll arrive now with 29%. So I'm going to wait till it pops up to about 35%. But just to give you an update, see how slow it charges as the battery fills up? I'm at 57% on the battery, and I'm only charging at 89 kilowatts. So really, it doesn't make sense to sit and charge super deep on the car. You know, if you don't have charging at home, I get it, but for road trips, you just zap and go, zap and go. You saw throughout my trips, rarely do I sit beyond 60 or 70%. Although I did earlier at that stop in anticipation I may be able to make it the whole way. I simply wasn't. So, but I'm going to go ahead and top this up just a little bit more, and then I'll be taking off and update you again from the road. So I overcharged for sure. You know, I'm going to arrive, it shows with 40%, 41%, whatever. I'm less than an hour out, but I was looking on my phone trying to figure out, the last time I was at the Horseshoe, there's a couple Tesla destination chargers, but there was a J1772 charger that was there years ago that was kind of ripped out, cable broken. Last time I was there, it was completely gone. Well, I've looked, it looks like Autel has installed 2 chargers with 2 J1772 handles. I have no idea what floor of the parking garage they're on, but I found them. They're on Autel's app, which I have, and I couldn't find them on PlugShare. I couldn't find them on ChargeWay, but there's a picture of them that I was able to find on PlugShare, but it doesn't list them. Somebody took a picture, but it doesn't list those chargers, and there's no description. So as I zoomed in, I noticed they were Autel, so I put up the Autel app, found them. This should be easier. In the car, I can look at the level 1, you know, or level 2, I'm sorry, chargers, the slower ones. The only thing it sees are the Tesla destination chargers, and it shows there's 2 of them. So I'm going to check those first and plug into one of the Tesla chargers if it's available. If not, I'm going to drive around and try to find these Autel chargers. I should hit the Horseshoe around 9:30. I'm showing 9:37 currently. We'll kind of see how that works out. I've been listening to a little batteries included podcast, but there you can see I've only been driving 5 miles, but 428 watt hours per mile. Battery's hot. I charged up way too far, but it is what it is. 689 miles so far today. Till I get there, I'll be well over 700 miles, roughly 750 miles for the day, and roughly 12 hours of driving. So it's been a long road trip. I'm looking forward to getting to the hotel. I'm going to try to get something to eat, get the car plugged in, and get checked in. So not all in that order, but thank you for following along. I've enjoyed the road trip, believe it or not. It's actually after business hours, still stuff going on in the business I work in, but the road tripping gives me time to kind of clear my head and decompress. So I do enjoy it. But neither here nor there. We're riding along through the evening. It's 47 degrees. It's gotten pretty cold out. And looking forward to getting there within the hour. So before I know it, I will be there, and you'll see it pretty quickly in following clips. Okay, I made it here. It is 9:41 because I've driven around for about 7 minutes trying to find the chargers, but I found them very happily. 68 miles, an hour and 6 minutes, 324 watt hours per mile, 752 total miles today. It's been 12 and a half hours, so I'm going to finish this up and show you kind of what I found. Auto has some chargers here that they've installed, Caesars, and there are 4 of them, and it's on level 2 of the Horseshoe parking garage. So I'm going to go ahead and get plugged in now. Thank you for following along, and I will post my next video here in the next few days.